Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host today, as always, and today I'm going to be giving you the final version of my mock draft. The draft is tomorrow. We're finally done with the speculation. Tomorrow we figure out what happens, but throw in one more mock draft. All right, starting off at one, Bears take Caleb Williams. I'm never not mocking that. It always stays the same. Now, number two, we know the Commanders are drafting at quarterback. Are they going to take Jaden Daniels or Drake May? From what I'm hearing, Jaden Daniels' agent does not want to go to Washington, but Jaden Daniels says he's all right with it, but would rather go somewhere else. So I think the Commanders are going to see that, and they're going to make the right choice here. Drake May is better. Up next, we have the Patriots, who, as much as I would go Marv, they seem really in need to draft a quarterback. I have heard speculations they are willing to trade this pick. I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to take Jaden Daniels. Up next, we have Arizona, who every time the top three has gone the same for me, and that remains the same. Top four, Marv, best player in this draft, most can't miss prospect in this draft, in my opinion. All right, now we're gonna go in and we're gonna give the first trade of the draft. The I can't speak. The LA Chargers are going to be trading the number 5 overall pick to the where are they Minnesota Vikings in exchange for two firsts. A hold on, not enough. Okay, well, come on. One. How about okay? This is the trade package. Two firsts, a fourth and a fifth, and Arizona's giving up a first and a third. The Arizona, not Arizona, Chargers have so many holes besides quarterback that trading back makes sense. Get more draft capital, get more potential on hitting on picks. You're now adding two first round picks. It makes sense for the Chargers and the Vikings. I think we know what we're gonna mock them here. And now that the Vikings are on the clock, we're gonna give them JJ McCarthy. They need a quarterback. They seem very much like they want to go McCarthy. Yeah. The Giants, if McCarthy fell to them, or if any of the quarterbacks fell to them, I would have mocked them here, but they didn't. So I'm going to give them Malik Neighbors. Daniel Jones has never had a solid weapon in his career. That's not an excuse for Daniel Jones. I think he is not a good quarterback, but maybe the Giants see something of him. They did pay him $40 million. Next we have the Titans, and the Titans had like the worst tackle play last year, and I continue to do this. Mock them, Joe All, easy pick. Next to the Falcons, this is a trade back candidate, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to give them Dallas Turner, great edge rusher, makes sense. Chicago, Fields Colt, you wanted to trade back. I'm going to give that to you. Because as of now, you have no draft capital. You currently sit at, you have three more picks after this. So I'm going to trade the ninth pick to, where are they? I don't think I've seen this mock, but I could see it happening. Indianapolis, where you are going to get, there you go. You're going to trade your first. You're going to get another second. Can I get thrown a third? Okay. You're gonna trade your third, and you're gonna first, second, and third. You're stacking on draft capital. Indy might be a bit of an overpay. Hold on, no, I'm not gonna do Indy that. Never mind. It doesn't really matter. You get the point. Indy's trading up to get this pick. And with the ninth pick, the Indianapolis Colts are going to be selecting Brock Bowers. Anthony Richardson, he has Pittman. Downs is looking like a promising rookie, but there's still concerns there. Like he hasn't really emerged. I feel like getting him another weapon would be very helpful. Would help him stay in the pocket more. Would not encourage him to run less. He's gonna have better weapons, and you want a big guy. Brock Bowers is an amazing prospect. I see him start to slip. I feel like if a team like Indy, who have expressed wanting him, sees that opportunity to draft him, they will. Up next, we have the Jets, and this is a pretty self-explanatory pick. I know that they went out and addressed the offensive line. Both their offensive linemen are old and injury prone. We're going to give them Fashanu, is what I'm hearing his name is pronounced. I'm not 100% sure how it's pronounced, but I've heard Fashanu, so I'm just going to go with that. I'm going to give the Chargers, who absolutely won this. They traded back and are still going to get an elite weapon in Roma Doomsday. This actually never happened in any of my mocks, funny enough. But because of that one trade back from Chicago, Roma Doomsday is going to fall to them at 11. And I feel like they're not going to play in the receiving court is Quentin Johnson and Joshua Palmer. No slander to Joshua Palmer is all slander to Quentin Johnson. But Joshua Palmer is not a reliable number one guy. He's not the guy that you're going to want to step up on a week-to-week basis. Roma Doomsday is. I'm next to have the Broncos, and they're the only team I think I mocked this. They're the only team I think will do it, and they're going to take Bo Nix in the first round. It just seems like that's a Sean Payton pick. He's that system quarterback. He's a robot, and that's what Sean Payton likes. He does not like his quarterbacks to not run his system exactly. I'm going to give the Raiders, and I'm going to give them Quinion Mitchell. He was amazing at the Senior Bowl, which I know isn't everything, but he's still a lockdown corner. The only question is his comp was very questionable at Toledo, to say the least. And but I think this should work out for the Raiders. I know they don't have a good history of drafting, but this is a case where I actually think they might hit on their pick here. He's a great corner, probably the best in this class. Up next, we have the Saints. Ramczyk might be career-ending injuries. The Trevor Penny pick did not work for you. So you're gonna take another. You're gonna take a tackle here. You're gonna take Talis Vaga. I think is how you pronounce his name. Apparently an A-plus pick. All right, Chicago. You still have needs, especially on your D line, and I'm gonna mock them Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy, one of the most dominant defensive line, probably the most dominant defensive lineman in this draft. And outside of Montez Sweat, they need more defensive line. They need to be able to get after the quarterback. Their defense is already elite. And if you don't think so, you need to watch this Bears defense. It's legit. So yeah, that's gonna be the mock. Next we have the Seattle Seahawks, who can use a lot. I'm gonna give them Leatu Latu. I think that's just a safe pick. They have bad pass rush for the last 2 years, bad run defense. Leatu Latu. The health concerns are there, but I think he can fill in very nicely. Next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, and there's two players I want to mock them here. Either Terrion Arnold, who has kind of slipped for them. I don't want to defend my pick. Or Brian Thomas, and I feel like I'm going to give them Brian Thomas. Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis are two average receivers. Who's that receiver that's going to elevate the receiving core? Brian Thomas can be that guy. Possibly. Up next, you have the Cincinnati Bengals, and I feel like the number one concern out of the Bengals, your quarterback has now suffered not one, but two season-ending injuries, is getting offensive line protecting him. We're going to give them Fatan. Not Fatanu. Fontanu. There's too many players who have weird names in this draft. Let's start with F on the O-line. I'm going to say the Chargers, and they are not the Chargers, the other LA team. Up next, we have the Rams, and it's a pretty simple pick here. I'm going to give them Johnny Newton. Yes, it's pronounced Johnny is what I've been hearing. I'm not 100% sure if that's wrong. Sue me. I've heard he's great, though. I'm not too familiar with his game. I know he's a bit undersized, but so is Aaron Donald. And they need to replace. He's not going to be a 1-to-1 Aaron Donald replacement. You're not replacing a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, maybe 3. You're not replacing a multi-time Defensive Player of the Year easily, but do your best you can. Let's hit the Steelers, and an underrated need for the Steelers. I don't think people are addressing this enough. They need a receiver really badly. And A.D. Mitchell just seems like a Steeler. He is such a Steeler. The effort concerns are there. Sorry. He does have effort concerns. He is a very talented receiver, though. And the Steelers need another receiver. George Pickens is emerging. He's probably in for his best year of his career. But then you're looking at Dan Jefferson and Calvin Austin. Yeah, get another receiver for whoever is your quarterback throwing to you. Up next is my Miami Dolphins, and I want this to be a trade back. Because as of now, the Dolphins are another team very short on draft capital. And I know who I want to mock this to. I know, not you. Well, I guess you could also be a case here. But I'm going to mock it to Green Bay, where I'm going... Oh my goodness. Okay, fine. Okay. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Green Bay going to hand over their first, and... Oh, are you going to make... No, I'll just take the 1/3. Hold on, give me a second. Green Bay. First, okay. We're gonna move back 4 spots to add another top 100 pick. As you can see, the Dolphins don't have a third or fourth round pick, so I think it's important to stack up on more draft capital. Something that under the Mike McDaniel's era we have not been doing. We've been liking trading our picks. We've had a first round pick under Mike McDaniel, and I think we're just gonna trade back a smidge with a team that we have traded back with, the Jordan Love trade. We have traded back with them before. I feel like this is where it goes. And with the Packers trading up, there's a very clear reason they traded up. This team right here, Philadelphia, needs a corner, but so do they. Outside of Xavier McKinney and Jair, which are really good, it is so bad. And I'm going to mock them Cooper DeJean to play corner, not safety, for them. I know people want to say he's going to play safety because, he can't be the first white corner in 20 years, but I don't care. Cooper DeJean is going to play corner for this team. And even if he does play safety, he is a very versatile safety who is going to very much improve the secondary, regardless of what he does. I'm going to say the Eagles, who were just jumped for Cooper DeJean, who I think is better than Terrion Arnold. who I am going to mock to the Eagles. I know in this he's slipping because he's the 11th ranked prospect. I don't agree with that. There's a reason I mock so many corners ahead of him. But finally, Terran Arnold, you're off the board. Up next, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, and I want to mock them Jared Verse, but it would be under the assumption that they are trading one of their two edge rushers, and I know they're both old, and one of them's really injury prone. You know what? Why not? Chargers have too many needs. I'm giving them Jared Verse. I like Jared Verse a lot. He was slipping. Great. It's going to be a great pick for them. Next, we have Dallas, and Dallas has two needs that I've been addressing in the first round every time I do this. They have a wide receiver need, but the wide receiver board has not fallen in their favor, and I don't want to mock them worthy. Especially when they have a big need at tackle. They lost their long-term tackle in Tyron Smith, so I think J.C. Latham is the pick here. It's not rocket science. You lose a tackle, you have to replenish them somehow. It's your biggest need. Take the tackle. It's an A+ pick apparently. Next, we have my Miami Dolphins, and this time I'm actually going to give them a trade. This is a guy I've absolutely loved, and it's Jackson Powers-Johnson. I've mocked him to go to the Dolphins at 21, and he falls to us at 25. I will gladly take that. Next, we have the Bucks, and they love drafting first-round edge rushers, but in this case, it is actually very justified. They have a big need at edge, and I'm going to give them Chop Robinson. Great pick for them. They need it. I'm not going to complain. Up next, we have Arizona. And I'm going to do something a little interesting here. I haven't done this. Do I want to do this? Let's see what it takes. I'm going to trade this pick. Not much. It's going to be, I'm trading it to Detroit. Where are you, Detroit? You'll be, okay. No, not Denver. Detroit. What would it take? Okay. Detroit is going to send very little to move up 2 spots. There's a reason behind this. Because I'm going to mock them a receiver here. And the Bills are a pick ahead of them. The Bills could easily snag a receiver from them, which if I'm them, if I'm the Lions, I want to get out of these 4 guys who I want, and who would fit the Lions the most. I think Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman is who I want to get. They have their slot receiver, which is what Ladd McConkey would play. They have their speedster in Jameson Williams. I think Keon Coleman. I feel like they have an underrated need at that. They could also go corner here. Was the trade up unnecessary? Probably. Can I undo a trade up? Because they need a corner. Hold on. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm undoing a trade up. Unbelievable what I'm doing here. We're undoing the trade up. Arizona, you're back on the clock. That's not my proudest moment. I realized something that they desperately need corner. So Arizona, you've already taken Marvin Harrison. We're going to act like they never traded for this pick. Well, they did, but we're going to act like they didn't trade it back and then trade it immediately back. There's a couple things that can go here. I think, as much as I want to mock them a tackle, they already spent a high pick on a tackle last year. I could go interior offensive line and Graham Barton. Anything will work here, except for quarterback, and probably drafting them another receiver wouldn't be the best move. Yeah, I'm going to give them Graham Barton. I like the pick. Big interior offensive lineman who will protect Kyler. It's as simple as that. I'm next to get Buffalo, and I've already hinted at their dire receiver need. I'm questioning what kind of receiver they want. I'm not very much followed on the Bills' social media because why would I? I don't want to know what they're doing. They are our rivals, obviously. This is not like I'm rambling on. I think I'm just gonna mock them. I'm gonna mock them Worthy. Worthy's draft stock has skyrocketed since his 40 time. He honestly probably isn't a first round talent, but some team's going to take him. Buffalo desperately needs a receiver, and the receivers have not fallen in their favor. I probably should have had them trading up, which is something they might do on draft day. Up next, we have the Lions, and between Nate Wiggins and Kool-Aid McKinstry, I'm going to give them Kool-Aid McKinstry, making Nate Wiggins one of the biggest fallers of this draft. But something about Kool-Aid McKinstry just screams Lions. Now, there's a trade I've been trying to do, and this website just will not let me do it for some reason, and I'm going to try it with Baltimore here. Where's the other team I need? Las Vegas. Okay. Yeah, it's not letting me do this trade. I want to trade the Raiders into the first round to get Penix, but that's just not going to happen. So, instead, the Ravens are going to get Nate Wiggins because they have old, aging corners, and it's pretty slim there. So, Nate Wiggins, great pick for them. It fell. I'm actually have the 49ers' biggest need, offensive line, maybe corner. corners have been just back corners were taken. They're not going 3 straight. They're going Amarius Mims. And finally, the Kansas City Chiefs with Rashid Rice. We don't know what's happening with him. I think the Chiefs are going to play it safe, and they're going to take Ladd McConkey, and that's the end of the draft. With Ladd McConkey going at 32. And we'll get a final look at the draft board, if it ever loads. The draft board just not loading. There it goes. Okay, so we had a couple trades. Obviously, we're not really going to count this one because I had to undo the trade because I realized that I wanted to mock them something else. Yeah, we had the Chargers trading with the Vikings, the Bears trading with the Colts, and the Dolphins trading with the Packers. And this is the board with Caleb 1, May 2, Daniels 3, Marv 4, McCarthy 5, Neighbors 6, Joe Alt 7, Turner 8, Bowers 9, Fashano 8, not 8, 10, Odumze 11, Nix 12, Mitchell 13, Faga 14, Murphy 15, Leatu Latu 16, Brian Thomas 17, Fatano 18, Johnny Newton 19, 80 Mitchell 20, Cooper DeJean 21, Terrion Arnold 22, Jared Verse 23, Latham 24, Jackson Powers Johnson 25, Chop Robinson 26, Graham Barton 27, Worthy 28, Kool-Aid McKendry 29, Nate Wiggins 30, Marius Mims 31, and Ladd McConkey to finish it off at 32. So that's my final mock draft. Had 3 trades, nothing insane. Obviously, it's not going to be 100% accurate because no mock draft is. It is so hard to predict it. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Bye-bye.